Tell me what you were telling me before, and I'll cut out what I have to cut out.
This past week,
Okay.
Switzerland just turned down a proposal that every man and woman in Switzerland would get $2,500 a month.
Okay.
$2,000 a month, and every child would get $650 a month. So approximately a family of four would be guaranteed a check, whether they work or not, of $5,000.
Okay.
It was turned down by 77% of the voters.
Okay.
But more importantly, there's a number of countries that are looking to do it themselves. One is Canada. Now, I want you to think about this and putting up walls. And what the real problem is the welfare state. Canada will be looking to put up a wall between the United States and Canada if they guarantee every one of their citizens $5,000. It will empty out New York City and Detroit.
What's Detroit?
Just think of Detroit. If
the
the individuals there knew that they could go and get a $5,000 check by crossing the river and getting $5,000 just by... And that's the problem. Nobody is really addressing the welfare state. We could put up walls which are not going to work because people will get around the walls.
All right. So how does Hillary Clinton think we're going to do anything about jobs? What is she saying about jobs?
Well, I guess they're going to continue to do the same policies because they keep talking about that. They just, there's a lot of rhetoric that is going on that just saying we're going to make America great again. We're going to bring jobs back to America. But we have to really look at what these policies really are and who has done. The proof is in the pudding.
Right. What does I was going to say don't say anything about don't do the sausage.
Gary Johnson?
What does Gary Johnson say?
Well, he has a track record. Let's just say that he has a track record. When he was governor, he created more jobs than any other governor during that period, including Perry, who was part of Texas, has always got credit for that. And at the end of the day, one of the things Johnson always says, and he never fails not to say it, is government never created one single job. All I did was put policies in place so that the private sector could create jobs. And that's what happened in New Mexico. See, we could talk about all these things, but let's look at the track record. Let's look at what's really happening.
And when you say look at the track record, so what is the track record? What has Gary Johnson done? I mean, what is...
When he was 8 years as governor of New Mexico, he took a state that was totally upside down, left it with $1 billion surplus, created more jobs as governor than any other governor during that period in the United States. He got elected as a Republican in a state that's 2/3 Democrat. He has a track record. And at the end of the day, who is actually going to bring people together? Does anybody really think that if Trump is elected that he's going to bring America together? Is Hillary going to do that? Is she going to bring America back together again? And that's why what I'm looking at, and as far as I'm concerned, the number one seismic shift that is going to happen in this election is not whether we elect an outsider, maybe like Trump, not that we're going to elect the first woman ever like Hillary.
Status quo.
But what we're looking at here is the emergence of a third and a fourth party and finally putting to bed this notion that we have a two-party system, the same two-party system that has destroyed this country.
Okay. And that is why there's only two people on the Presidential Debate Commission.
Well, just let's be clear about that. I mean, the Presidential Debate Commission is a 501c3 corporation, operating as though it's some kind of legitimate commission. And that 501c3 corporation is owned and run by the Democrats and Republicans. They have been since 1988. One of the reasons why the League of Women Voters opted out in 1988, and their language, not mine, is that they're perpetrating a fraud on the American public. What is so afraid? Why are people so afraid to hear different points of view? If we don't have a discussion...
Then exactly. And why did they do that? They did that because
Because they saw what happened with Ross Perot. Let's
okay.
just say with Ross Perot. Both Clinton and Bush allowed Ross Perot to be on the debate stage in 1992.
But okay, and
Okay,
I think
and he went from 6% to 19%,
Right.
almost immediately.
So was it Bush and
Clinton.
Dukakis that signed a secret agreement, correct?
They all have. Every single
every
one.
single
And that's what we're
okay.
asking now. That's, matter of fact, we just put up a poll on Twigs Radio, the All American and God We Trust poll, because you have to, who could possibly not believe the All American and God We Trust poll?
Okay.
And the poll is will Trump or should Trump sign secret agreements with Hillary and the Presidential
keep out.
Debate Commission to keep a third party off the stage? I want you to think about that. People should really need to think about exactly what we're saying here. Are you telling me that somebody like Trump is going to sign secret agreements, and that's what'll happen if you do not see Gary Johnson on the stage or Jill Stein of the Green Party?
Well, because that's why you haven't seen anybody before Ross Perot, because
the only reason
yeah.
Ross Perot was allowed to be on the stage in '92 is both Clinton and Bush thought that Perot would take more votes away from the other than so Bush thought Perot was going to take more votes away from Clinton, and Clinton thought he'd take more votes away. When Perot ran in '96, he wasn't allowed to be on the stage.
Right.
But more importantly than that, the polling companies are hired by the commission to do their polls.
Which a commission is really a 501c3. Okay.
That commission is a 501c3 corporation.
Okay.
I mean, they have hoodwinked what the whole electoral process. And that is the problem here. And why people have to seriously ask, and why I'm saying is this is the year this is finally coming to light. This, to me, is more important than one election, because every election is the most important election, right? You heard the same thing 4 years ago. You can't have another 4 years of Obama.
Oh, yeah.
You heard that 8 years ago.
Or I'm going to do all this stuff, and then for 4 years don't do anything.
Right.
Yeah, or they can't do
I mean,
anything.
this has constantly went on. So the number one thing, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that the emergence of a third party.
And you believe that to be Gary Johnson. So how do people find out? Say he's not on the stage and the secret agreement was signed, and he's not. How do people find out about it?
Well, if there is, and if there is secret agreements, that flies in the face of that Trump would be an absolute fraud then. And I hate to say it that way, because a lot of my friends, a lot of people probably watching this are friends of mine that are big Trump fans.
Or Hillary, or whatever. Right.
Or Hillary, for that matter. But if either one of these people actually sign documents, agreements to keep somebody off, like a two-term governor, they did it last time.
Yeah.
Those are facts.
Right, and they are.
Okay?
Yeah.
Romney and Obama signed documents with the Presidential Debate Commission that they would only debate amongst themselves. Why is it? I just want people to use their own common sense. We just went through a primary system that we had debates on every single week. Why is it not? Are you telling me that we only could have 3 debates? Why is MSNBC not having their own presidential debate? Doesn't this ring a bell? Why isn't Fox having their own presidential debate?
No.
Why do they have to rely on this phony presidential debate commission and this 15%? All this stuff is not legitimate.
No. So,
and I'm sorry for all the phones ringing in the back.
No. So tell me, how do people find out? How do people between now, because I still don't understand.
Go to Gary Johnson,
I don't understand
2016.
why he has to do that late anyway, but that's another conversation maybe. Why he wasn't able to run with those guys like right from the start. But how do they see it again? What's the dot?
Oh, well, just to go GaryJohnson2016.com.
Okay.
I mean, or Google Gary Johnson. That's simple enough. And Jill Stein for that matter. Yeah. Or Jill Stein for that matter from the Green Party.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to put competition back in our politics. Anybody that believes in the free market system understands what competition means. It drives down prices. It keeps corruption out. We have had this collusion, and that's Trump's words too. The collusion between the media, the polling companies, the Presidential Debate Commission. This has destroyed the very fabric of what we know as American. We have our men and women going overseas to fight for democracy over there, and we have anything but here. We have a system in place right now that has been put into place by the Republicans and Democrats. We have a Presidential Debate Commission. We have primaries that are closed. People are not allowed to, as independents, to even participate. We have gerrymandering going on. The list goes on and on and on to keep these these two parties in power. And to me, this is the year to people are finally waking up to see how corrupt it is. Here in Pennsylvania, we saw the same thing. I mean, people just became aware that, what do you mean? I'm voting for delegates, and the delegates are not even down to the Republican. And they were outraged, and they should be outraged. But it goes way deeper than that. The American people have to decide what is the most important thing to them at this time. And are we going to stay up to the American principles that we were brought to understand and to believe in, that we have a true democracy, that we have a media that's supposed to be
free and independent.
Yeah. And why do we have the free and independent press? And why I say all the time, to me, that's still the single most important thing. We need a free and independent press, and we need free and equal elections, both of which we do not have in America today.
We do. We have the Gazette.
And Twigs Cafe Radio.
That's right.
and Sanity Check. And we're getting there, Lori. Absolutely right.
All right. High five.
High five.
All right.